Wholeness, 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 everyone, and welcome. I'm just waiting for some people to join us. Hey, make that money, girl. Make that money. Hey, 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 make that money, girl. Make that money. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I trust you all are having a beautiful Sunday. I am excited to share with you all what is happening today on this live. I hope you guys can see me well. Let me see if I can just put this way. Yeah. All right. Having my sea moss and orange juice. Okay, are you guys ready? So I'm gonna start with you all here. I see somebody is asking to request. So wholeness and balance vibrations, everyone, and thank you for joining me, Shalizahr, Ayodike, your self-love tour guide, for this abundance mindset and new moon live, where I'm gonna be sharing some tips with you all. Because the lovely people who attended the 25 days of joy and love, self-love adventure in the month of December had answered a question, and I have found that the majority of persons stated that financial abundance, financial literacy, financial security, stability, and all of those things were one of their major manifestations for the year ahead. And well, for the month of December and now January, okay? So I chose, because so many people had stated that that was their concern, to share some tips with you guys. So before we get into all of that, I'm just going to ask you guys to have a notebook and a pen ready at hand so you can be fully engaged in this program and the sharing, so that you can get the best out of it for yourself, and you may even be able to look back at your notes at a later date. Don't worry, I will save the live, and let's start with some breath work. So in all things we do, I encourage all of us, each of us, to be present with ourselves by being comfortable where you are, finding a comfortable seat, laying on your back if you are lying down, stopping, being present with this process. Just take a moment to gather your thoughts, to be right here, right now, and follow the instructions of my voice as we get ready to dive really deep into the abundance mindset under this new moon in Capricorn. So I'm going to ask you to inhale, filling your stomach up with air. If you can, place your hand on your navel, your belly button, and push your hand forward with that inhale. Hold for 2, 1, 2, and exhale with a gush. Inhale again. This time we are holding for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale with a gush. We're inhaling again, and this time we are holding for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale with a gush. Yes, I know that one may have been a little difficult for some of us, but guess what? The more we practice our breath work is the more we become comfortable doing these practices, because guess what? The breath is life. Breath fuels everything that we do, and it's fueling me, and it also fuels you. So now that we are present with our breath and grounded in the here and now, without further ado, I'm going to thank you for joining me. And I'm going to start with the affirmation that you guys would have seen on the flyer. So you can repeat after me and say, with your hand on your heart, I manifest abundance. By being grateful for all that I have. So that is, I manifest abundance by being grateful for all that I have. That is the affirmation that will set the tone for today's sharing, because without gratitude, we have absolutely nothing. If you are ungrateful, you are going to handicap yourself from actually accessing all the abundance that is all around us. And because we have so much wealth and abundance in the abundance of water, the fool remains thirsty, and we are not fools here on this life today. So I will encourage you to be grateful for all that you have, all that you have had, and all that you are about to receive. So I'm going to explain to you now why it is I chose to share all of this beautiful, wonderful information with you guys today on the new moon that is in Capricorn. So Capricorn is the sign that is an earth sign. It's an earth sign. It's the third oldest earth sign that there is, meaning that you have the most stability coming from this earth sign. Okay, this is the sign that is not a sprinter. You're going to go slow and steady when you're dealing with a Capricorn. These are the people who are actually very focused, very disciplined, very strategic. They are the people who long-term planners. This is the energy of long-term planning. This is the energy of stability. This is the energy that is being presented here for us right now. Now, all things done in decency and in order. God, in his infinite wisdom, gave a time and a season for all things under the sun, and with the moon cycles, when we understand them, we can facilitate our development. The new moon is the time for setting intentions and planting seeds. The full moon is the time for letting go, for revising and reflecting to see what has actually been birthed. So, when a woman is pregnant and she goes through all the trimesters and she's full term, that can be likened to how the full moon is. When you become full term, the baby leaves your womb and is entering into this new world. So that's the transitions period, because remember, Newton's third law, energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It just moves from one form to another. Okay, so that's the movement of that energy from one form to another. That's what happens at full moon. So now that we are at new moon, we get to see what we want and put some energy into making it manifest. So are you guys excited to do that? I am definitely excited to get into that with you all. So this is a powerful time because we are in the month of January, which is in the height of winter. And I know we're in the Caribbean, so we're not accustomed to referring to the 4 seasons. We are accustomed to dry season and rainy season, right? But that does not mean the energy of winter is not accessible to us. So this energy is the energy of rest, reflection, all the R's. Rest, reflection, revision, rejuvenation, restoration. So all those R's are what is present right now in January. And now that we have the new moon being presented to us, which is the energy to get things done, we get to reflect on all that has happened throughout the year before and all the seasons before, where we have been, where we are going, what we'd like to accomplish, and get to see what our beliefs are and how they align with those things. Now, with the new moon being in Capricorn, we get to check our belief systems and see if they are in alignment with what we actually want. And that is the beauty of this particular new moon, and that's why we're going into the abundance mindset today. So, as I mentioned, the Capricorn is not the sprinter. This is the person who runs the marathon. You're here for the long term. You're not, this is slow and steady win the race kind of thing. This is not the hare, this is the tortoise. So if it is you want to go fast, this may not be the information that you require, but if you want to go far, we can journey together one step at a time. So I covered what we're doing for the new moon, and now I'm going to get into some terms. So abundance mindset. So I already told you guys that financial abundance, financial freedom, financial stability, financial breakthrough, financial literacy, all of these things are the request that my clients and attendees in the adventure had. As thank you, lovely to see you too. You look amazing as well. These are the requests that everyone had on. They wanted tips to know how to get into doing these things and really manifesting some abundance in this season, right? Now, I celebrate the new year in spring when things come alive, but that does not mean that I don't utilize this time and energy to reflect and put some paper and pen together to manifest some things and to review what I want. So the first thing with abundance mindset is you need to understand what exactly is abundance. You need to understand what is finance. You need to understand what is our mindset. You need to understand what is money. What is the vibration of money? What is gratitude? All of these things. Because we have been using terms, I have found in my experience that a lot of times we're using terms not because we know what it means, but because we're familiar with it based on casual conversation. So we no longer use words and back it up by Oxford or Black's Law Dictionary to actually know the root meaning of a word. So words are spells. What you say manifests. What you focus on manifests. So knowing the root of your word, the etymology of the word, is going to be very important in your abundance mindset. So what exactly is abundance? Simply put, plenty. Abundance is plenty. Having plenty. Anything that you have in a large quantity is going to be abundance. You're going to have a surplus. That is what abundance is. Now, a mindset is the established beliefs and attitudes of anyone. So any established beliefs or attitudes that you have is what makes up your mindset. So when you put those two together, you have plenty, beliefs and attitudes. If you want to look at it like that. So if you have plenty, right? But you need to understand there's plenty of what? Do you have plenty of faith or do you have plenty of fear? I have found that fear is faith in bad things coming to pass. Simply put. And faith is trust in good things coming to pass. So, do you have abundance of faith or do you have abundance of fear? Understanding that alone could set the path for where you are going with your money. Now, let's get into some finance. So, for the people who talk about financial stability in particular, my husband always says that if you cannot manage your emotions, you cannot manage your money. Yep, I'll just let that sink in and I'll say it again. If you cannot manage your emotions, you cannot manage finance. A lot of us here in the Caribbean are very emotional. And if you come from Trinidad, not so much Tobago, but if you come from Trinidad in particular, we're very emotional and we do a lot of trauma bonding here. And we do not actually like to face things as they are. And that is the truth. We like to hide. We like to save face. We have a lot of pride. We do not call a spade in public settings. We do not check people when they are wrong. And this is why we are successful, but we're not as great as we can be because we're not accountable for our actions in a lot of things that we're doing. So if we cannot manage the emotions, which we have learned is generational, it's not a one-person thing. It's generational throughout our culture. It's past generational, it's cultural. So if we can't manage emotions culturally, we could look at our leadership and see how we can't manage emotions. Heck, we had our prime minister saying don't jackass the scene for the, you know what it is. So if it is we have things like that happening, that is emotional responses. That's not actually on empirical evidence and facts. So we need to manage emotion in order to be able to create stability in our finance. So yes, thank you, Oneness. And faith is the belief in good things coming to pass, and fear is the belief in bad things coming to pass. Okay? So finance is a broad term that describes activities associated with banking, leverage, debt, credit, investment, capital, bonds, stocks, markets, trends, funds. All of these things, investments, is what finance is, right? And a lot of us want to use that word so loosely and we don't even understand all that finance entails. This is the term used for matters regarding the management, the creation, and the study of money. Now, money is not just the banknotes that we get. Money is much grander than that. Do we know this? Are we aware of how multifaceted money of itself is? Money and investments are the two things that finance governs, right? However, money is the global current medium of exchange, either in the form of coins or banknotes or now digital currency. And any object that we use or trade with that is an acceptable payment for goods and services or repayment of debt in any country is what money is. Money is usually what is converted into liquid assets while retaining its market value. That's something else that we need to know. Now, a lot of other people stated that they wanted land and real estate and vehicles and all of these good things. Now, land and real estate are not liquid assets. Those are known as non-liquid assets. So because those are known as non-liquid assets, when it is you planning, you need to know where on your plan each one of these things fall. Is it that you want liquid assets or you want non-liquid assets? You need to have a column for that when it is you writing. So now that I've given you all these definitions, I trust that you have a better understanding of what it is you're really looking for. People who want financial freedom, I ask you to start manifesting financial wisdom. Because freedom without wisdom will put you right back into prison. Believe it or not. You can get all the freedom. You're probably free all now and don't even know. So we're going to have freedom with wisdom. Stability is an emotional problem. So for the people who ask for financial stability, I'm going to recommend that you check in with someone. Seek a professional therapist or a spiritual practitioner to see if you have any blocks to abundance, number one. If you have any vows that you may have in this life or any other life that are blocking your ability to earn or to receive money openly. If you're like me, I had vows that prevented me from connecting with finance, that I felt like I needed to give it all away consistently, and I had to clear that multiple times. Sometimes it's not a one and done. Sometimes you have to do things multiple times because it's like an onion and you have layers. Okay, so for those of you who are seeking stability, check to see if you have any blocks towards it. Go to a therapist, check in with your emotional intelligence levels and assess what your values are. For those looking for breakthroughs, see where you are grateful in your life. Are you ungrateful? Are you looking for things and you want it your way? So you're not even seeing that you may be getting what you want, just not in the way that you anticipated it. A lot of times we're getting blessed and don't know, A lot of times our manifestation is taking its root, but we don't acknowledge it because it's not coming how we want it to come. So don't worry, Oneness. I will save the live so you can catch a replay, and whoever missed it can catch it again. So don't worry about it, okay? So remember, when it is you're looking to get those breakthroughs, have you actually been focusing on where you are blessed? We get more of what we are grateful for. We get more of what we are thankful for. And if it is we even use the Psalms or the Bible and things like that, they say, seek ye first the kingdom of God in righteousness, and all things will be added unto you. Not some things, not part of the thing, not a little bit of the thing, but all things. That is abundance. That is abundance. So let us now take responsibility for how it is we show up for ourselves by understanding two things. So if it is we have abundance mindset, we must have something called lack mindset. And I have found culturally that Trinidadians in particular and other people in the Caribbean come from lack mindset. They're always broken to break open. And I always believe in telling people you can't be broke and broken. You can't have no money and then you're broken mentally, spiritually, emotionally. Oh my. There comes a time where you have to draw the line and take responsibility for yourself. Put in the work. You don't need to broadcast that you're doing the work neither. Just work in silence. Work. This is you versus you. Do the work to get you where you need to be so that you can balance your chakras, align with the energy that is necessary for you to get the results that you desire. It's for you. There's nobody coming to do it for you. I can't do it for you. I could only give you the tools to equip you to do what you need to do for you. Yeah? So lack mindset is scarcity. A lot of times we coming from scared movements and scarcity operation. You know all the reasons why you cannot get up and do something. You know all the reasons why you can't get up and go in the grocery store. You know all the reasons why you can't cook your food. You know all the reasons why you can't go to work. You know all the reasons why you shouldn't do something. You know all the reasons why your neighbor will not be bothered by what you're doing because your neighbor's evidently paying your bills. You know all the reasons why somebody else should be doing what you are called to do. If God wanted them to do it, they would have put that upon their hearts, but it was placed upon your heart, so it's your responsibility. You know all the reasons why you shouldn't be held accountable for what is necessary for you. And this is where lack mindset is really coming. Lack mindset is really fear. I already told you all my position on fear. Fear is trusting bad things to come to pass. That is where lack does come from, because before you could leave, you might actually have resources at your disposal and you're not even able to see it because you're coming from fear. You're blinded to all the abundance around you. But then, you might be going to church. You might be praising the Lord every Sunday and waiting for a miracle to come true. Meanwhile, God like this. But I bless you though. Oftentimes, blessings and manifestations and miracles come dressed as hard work. You cannot be lazy and expect to be abundant. It don't go together. You know we have a gimme attitude here in Trinidad. Somebody always had a hand so. They always want. They don't want to go and do. That is also under the lack mindset banner. You know, lack mindset is not enough. You never have enough. You're never contented. You're never fulfilled because you're never satisfied. That's where lack mindset does stem from. Or you mightn't have the resources to satisfy the needs that you actually want in a moment. That could also manifest as lack. So you might want to invest in a course and you don't have the resources at the moment to invest in that course, and that could stem fear because you would now feel like your goal is not attainable, and that could also propel you into lack mindset. Now that we understand clearly what lack mindset looks like, let us deal with abundance mindset, which is the topic for today. So abundance is understanding that all of our needs are in fact met. Do you guys believe that all of your needs are met? There is an infinite supply available to all of us. There's room for you and there's room for me. We could take up all this space and still not match each other's toes. There's enough for all of us. There is enough for all of us. We don't need to hoard information. We don't need to be petty. We don't need to block off our book to see who copying. It don't matter because there is room for all of us. So who resonates with you may not resonate with me, and who resonates with me may not be resonance for you. We all have people who are waiting for us to show up with what we are gifted with our talents, so that they may be blessed and be encouraged to walk their path. And that's the beauty of abundance mindset. There's abundance of love all around us if we choose to see it. There's abundance of wealth, there's an abundance of relationships, abundance of opportunities, abundance of kindness. Abundance is all around us, especially for those of us who believe that God is our source and supply. Now, I'm going to tell you guys a little off-topic story here about creation. A lot of us think that the Creator, the Most High, God, Allah, whatever you call the most supreme being, divine in your heart, right, is our source and supply. Yet, we always balling, we broke. We always don't have. We always praying for something. And in the same part where we say amen or ashe, is the same part we balling, wait boy, how are we going and do this? So in other words, you're blaspheming and you're cursing God and telling God, well, here what, my problem bigger than you, you know. For those of us with Caribbean roots, we know that we have seen the elders do this. Time and time again, you pray here and you ask God to take the cup from you. You're casting all the burden upon God. You don't know how you're going and do it, and you're trusting God for this miracle. But as soon as you say ashe or amen, you're going to be like, I don't know how I'm going to pay this tea and tech bill, you know. I don't know how Wasa going to get paid. I don't know how I'm going to buy groceries today. And then you're talking to the neighbor on the phone, or you're calling Tanty Merle, or you're calling somebody to tell them how you can do what it is you stated that you was going and do. So then God watching you so what was the point of the prayers then? And then it creates a perpetual cycle of lack again. So I encourage us to be mindful of what we say in this season. And that is where we're going to be taking responsibility for our abundance. It starts with these small things. Charity begins at home and spreads abroad. Our first home is this body that God gave us. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. So the first thing we're responsible for is this house. It's this mind. So we're going to do some decluttering of the mind now. And I would like for us to recognize the power of our thoughts. Because if we want to go from lack to abundance, we're going to have to recognize the power of our thoughts. During the 25-day journey, we had something that told us the power of thoughts and words. And I'm going to reiterate it here again. I also have a post on my Instagram that actually speaks towards the power of words and thoughts, so you guys who missed it could go back and read it there. However, what we think about every day, whole day, is what manifests into reality. If you think you're going to get sick, trust and believe you're going to get sick. If you think you're going to be healthy, you're going to be healthy. If you think you're going to be abundant, you're going to be abundant. Now, thoughts don't only originate with us, with our own self. We could be thinking other people's thoughts too. If you have a nagging person always in your ears speaking negatively, you're going to manifest what is going into your ear gate. I always say guard your ear gates and your eye gates. What we watch and what we listen to often manifests itself in our lives. So if people are on here and you're still guzzle TV6, CCN, BBC, news. If you're still guzzling news, trust and believe what you're watching is what you're going to experience. If it is you're picking up a book about personal development and you start to read and encourage yourself and you look at things geared towards self-love and mental fortitude. Somebody asked me about financial literacy. If you read, you can start with Rich Dad Poor Dad, then go to Think and Grow Rich and come up the ranks in reading. Then you're going to find that your life reflects that. I have not watched news in 5 years. So 5 months, I've taken that. That's a plus. Because it's not in alignment with what you want to manifest. So I was telling you all this story about creation. So in creation, right, we always saying God omnipotent and omnipresent and all of these good things. He is the same God today, tomorrow, and forevermore. Especially if you come from a Baptist background like me, that is always in our prayers. Today, tomorrow, and forevermore. Now, yes, God is today, tomorrow, and forevermore, but He also in this reality. If it is you're poor, God there with you. If you're rich, God there with you. If it is you're sick, God there with you. If you're healthy, God there with you. If it is you're broke, God there with you. If you're financially abundant, God there with you. If you're successful, God there with you. All of these visions, because God is omnipotent and omnipresent, so He there with you either way. Because we have something called free will, we get to choose what reality we want to experience at any given time. Believe it or not. However, we often like to blame somebody else. So we blame the devil. We blame Obia. We blame voodoo, hoodoo. Somebody doing me. Somebody lights a candle me. Somebody walking me. But never we responsible for our inaction. Our inaction, our lack of action, our wrong action, our misguided actions and mistakes. We don't want to hold ourselves accountable for that. We want to blame somebody else because it's never me. We don't look in the mirror first, most times. Now, some of us actually do look in the mirror first, and then we realize we bounce in a plateau, which could lead to the belief systems that we're already holding. Right? So, God with us. So, I need to become the right Shalizahr to carry the mantle of being the self-love tour guide. So that means if I am to be the self-love tour guide, everything opposite to self-love I would have had to master at some point or another. So in the 10 years of self-love, I had low self-esteem, lack of confidence, was very timid, believe it or not. I was bullied. I was called all manner of names. I had all manner of traumas, physical, emotional, sexual, environmental, social traumas. I had, poor money management at some points in time. I had all sorts of things to master. And then guess what? I used to blame other people for it too. It was always somebody else besides me. Then I realized in my healing journey that nobody not coming to save me, and if I want to do better, I have to show up for myself and invest in myself because I don't know everything. So I chose to seek out the people who resonated with me, who had information that I did not have, to invest and pour into me so I may heal and move from that Shalizahr so that old Shalizahr could die. And I had a funeral for her, and I now am able to walk in my purpose and carry the mantle that I am to carry, which is the same part most of us have as well. So when we talk in things of lack to abundance, a lot of it has to do with our inner healing. Self-love is the ability to show up for ourselves in every environment and situation. It's not just looking pretty. It's not having a perfectly beat face. It's not a hairdo. Yes, all of those things are nice for self-care, but as the outer man, what about our mental condition? What about our emotional well-being, our spiritual Atman? Are we pouring into those things as well? What our environment looking like? I always tell my clients that, our environment, our immediate environment is a reflection of our mind. What going on in our mind manifests. If you're living in a cluttered space, that probably means you have a million tabs open in your mind. If it is you are living in a very tiny space, that means you have ordered thoughts. Simply put, right? So now let's get into some tips. I would like you guys to write down what it is that you fear the most right now. Take a moment to write what it is you fear the most right now in your life. What is your greatest fear right now? It might be the fear of failing. It might actually be the fear of being all that you desire. It might be the fear of actually accomplishing your goals. It could be, your fear talking in front of crowds, your fear going live. I don't know. You could be fearing actually making and hitting your targets. Where it comes to financial abundance, you could fear many things. What it is your fear? What is your fear? And if you're brave, somebody could like write one of their fears in the comments here, and I will actually address it. Anybody want to write their fear here? So while you're writing your fear, I'll move straight into point number 2. So the first point was recognize the power of your thoughts. Number 2, practice gratitude. So in the beginning, I was talking about being grateful. We affirmed that being grateful for what we have is the beginning and the basis of abundance. And practicing gratitude actually gives us a platform to get more of what we are grateful for. If we are grateful for good relationships in our lives, healthy friendships in our lives, people who call us out and hold us accountable, we're going to have more of those people showing up for us. If we are grateful for our family members, they're going to show up for us more. If we're grateful for the resources that we do have, you could have 50 cents and you're grateful for that 50 cents. Trust and believe that 50 cents will stretch. If you're grateful for opportunities, you're grateful to be alive, you're grateful for your body, you're grateful for food, you're grateful for your vision, your smell, your taste, your touch, you're grateful for even being able to watch and listen to this live. If you're grateful, you're just grateful for the breath of life. You know, everybody, when you ask, they're grateful to be alive, they're grateful to, wake up today, they're grateful for the family. And try not to repeat what you're grateful for, please. When you're being grateful, don't become monotonous and say the same thing over and over like a record stick. Become creative. Engage in your process. Don't be lazy with yourself. Start to become grateful for things that you was taking for granted. I'm grateful for my baby too, because I bounced my baby too and it really hurts, and I was reminded that it is there. And without that baby too, I will be off balance, believe it or not. All of us, without a baby too, we will be off balance. So, being grateful is one of the major things that helps us connect to abundance mindset, because the more we're grateful for is the more things we get to be grateful for, because we get more abundance coming to us because we are in that attracting and receiving energy. Masculine energy is the giving energy. Feminine energy is the receiving energy. Now, everything I'm saying here, you are welcome to go and research for yourself. You are welcome to invest in yourself and hire a coach. You are welcome to book a session with me. You are welcome to do the research to get the information, go through the processes on your own. You don't need to take what I say. However, I am sharing with you because I see a need. So, masculine energy, as I said, is the giving energy. And feminine energy is the receiving energy. So you don't have to suffer to get abundance. A lot of us women are highly conditioned to be in our masculine energy. So we do things from a place of force, not ease, flow, and grace. Not ease, flow, and grace at all. We're forcing things up most of the time. So we find that our femininity has become reduced and we have become a lot more aggressive. And then we find things not working or not. You get through with something, you might hit a target, but you're not able to maintain it. Because it's not sustainable, because you're in that force, you're in the giving energy. You want to give, you want to command, you want to do instead of flowing. You're turning down the volume on your intuition to turn up the control. And a lot of us females do not acknowledge our own ego. We always quick to tell men about the ego they have. Suffering is definitely not love, people. You don't have to suffer to have love. Okay? That will be a trauma connection. right? So that was with the advent of slavery and patriarchy and things like that. So that is when that became a part of the program. Our masculines have become a lot more feminine and have the hand out. There are many masculine men still, but a lot of them waiting for somebody to do for them. That's not what is work. Biologically, you can't be more woman than having a vagina, and you can't be more man than having a penis. That's as masculine and feminine as it could ever get. Along the way, the emotional, spiritual configurations through diet and social programming and environment and different versions of emotional, sexual, spiritual traumas, the wires get a little crossed along the way, but that don't mean it can't be uncrossed, because biologically you are what you are. So these energies also play a major part in how we attract and manifest abundance. So ease and grace, submission, and all of these things for women are really a major component, especially this year, in these energies that are going to be afforded to us, as Venus is also in retrograde. I have made a post about that over on Zah Wellness, so you guys can read it there. That energy is very feminine, very loving. And it allows us to not force things to happen, but to flow with it. Sometimes we want to control the outcome so much that we know it's not working, and you're shoving this square peg in the wrong hole and it just wouldn't work and you wouldn't stop. That is also lack mindset, because you want what you want. Sometimes also things are happening as a blessing in disguise. Also, sometimes it's not even about us. Sometimes God is using us as a catalyst to bless somebody else before we walk into our mantle and our blessing. But we're so self-absorbed that we don't even allow for ourselves to be used as instruments of blessings to others, because we're forcing things. We're not flowing with it. So practicing gratitude was number 2. Number 3, know that there are no limitations. Take the limits off. There is nothing stopping you. Where there is a will, there is forever a way. If this way don't work, no problem, find a next. Wait. If you don't know what to do, wait. Meditate. Be still. Meditate. Listen twice, talk once. A lot of the reason why a lot of us do not experience financial increase and abundance is because we just talk too much. Everybody and the mother don't need to know what's going on with you. If what you're doing does not involve the person you're telling, don't bother to tell them. It is not their business. If what you are doing does not involve the people you are telling it to, it is not their business. God did not give it to them. He gave it to you. If he wanted to give it to them, he would have given it to them, because most of the times the same people you're telling is the same people discouraging you. Because people love for you to do good, just not better than them. You could do good just as long as you're not bypassing them. It doesn't matter anyway. You don't live at them. They are not paying your bills. They are not supporting you in any way most of the times. They're not supporting you emotionally and mentally, and they're definitely not supporting you financially, so there's not the business to know. Silence has always been violence by me. And keep your cards close to your chest when it is you're manifesting financial abundance. Keep your cards close to your chest. Be wise. Now, another thing that you need to consider in abundance is sharing your passions and your purpose. So just like I'm here on live sharing with you all because I'm passionate about this, and I believe in sharing what we master. And sharing our passions allows more room. When you give your knowledge, you make room for new knowledge to be built in. Sharing your passion also builds your confidence in yourself and in that passion. You learn by doing. You could read all you want, but until you start to apply the information, it makes no difference. You learn by doing. So start to share, no matter what it is, no matter how small it is. You can start with $1, just like how Unique, who is also one of my past coaches, she was in here a little while ago. She had a live yesterday that she was talking about. She started by getting something in the dollar store, because she's not in Trinidad, she's in the States. She got something in the dollar store and she flipped that and she turned it into $100 product. So you can start with anything right where you are. You have no excuses. You could use your talents and your gifts, get creative, and start to create content, passion. Get on your phone. Don't make your phone smarter than you. Start to research what it is you want to do. Build your skill sets. You have gift, talent, and skills. Some of them need to be harnessed. Some of them need to be developed. Some of them we just need to practice, to refine, and then put it out there. Number 5, self-efficacy. Developing and mastery of experiences. Mastering your craft cultivates discipline. It makes you self-efficient and sufficient. Discipline and abundance go hand in hand. If you are not disciplined, you would not be abundant. Plain talk, bad manners. You have to be disciplined at what you're doing. Whether that means you tell yourself you're going to wake up at 6 a.m., read your Bible, pray, exercise, that is what you need to do. Hold yourself accountable to that exercise. So then in those small things, you get to have the experience of success. When you have the experience of success in those small things, it encourages you when you can now persevere to have success in major things, in major projects. I remember when I was having Soul Sisters retreats, I was guided to go out and buy everything before anybody had booked to attend, and my heart was palpitating because I am now going to put the risk on my investment by buying these 25 packages before anybody has committed to attend. And I did, and you know what, we sold out down to the wire, but we sold out. And that was because of obedience, of seeing the success in the small things and trusting good things to come to pass and knowing that it will be a sold-out event. And guess what it was? I went ahead and paid for the venue. I went ahead and ordered everything I needed to. I didn't wait until I had the bookings and then tried to do it. I acted as if, and I saw it manifest. So sometimes you need to trust the unknown. Trust that the divine has your back in real life. Don't just say it in the scriptures. Don't just say it in your quotes and your affirmations and your mantras and everybody's a guru these days. So just don't be saying these pretty words, but actually apply it. Walk it like you're talking it. Because those small wins are what are going to fuel the big ones. Master the small ones. If you can't manage $1, you can't manage $10. If you can't manage $10, you can't manage $100. If you can't manage $100, you definitely can't manage 5, far more for 1,000, far more for 5,000, 10,000, 100,000, 1 million. So you have to start where you are. How are you managing your goods? How are you successfully doing it? So I also encourage you to write down one goal that's really big, and then reverse engineer it. Write the plan of each step that it will take to get you to that goal. And start today. There's no time like now. Start right now. Start today. So that is self-efficacy. Number 6. Choose your words wisely. As I was telling you guys about guarding your ear gates and your eye gates. Guarding your ear gates and your eye gates. Watch what you're consuming with your eyes, what you're scrolling through Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, watching and listening to. What is feeding you? What is feeding you? It don't matter what your conscious mind holding in. You see your subconscious mind? Most times we cannot control what's in the subconscious mind. And doing the subconscious and shadow work is very difficult. A lot of us not even in the habit and don't even know what a shadow is. So, if you're not going to do the work to unpack your subconscious mind, which often, unbeknownst to you, that's why it's called subconscious, is running amok in your life and sabotaging all that you are trying to do, you need to start to watch what you're consuming, who you're listening to. Some of our parents very negative, and they speaking fear into us. Yeah, so no one to shut off. You could be present and turn off your ears without being rude. Because Trinidadian elders love to tell you you're being rude, even though you might be correcting them. So you can do it respectfully and set some healthy boundaries so that you start to choose your words wisely. Speak life over yourself. Words have meanings. I do not say words like spend. When you spend something, it don't come back. I only invest, use, or circulate when we're talking about finance and money. Because it must return. You said circulate something, it's coming back. You use something, it's coming back. Because it was used. It will be replaced. You invest something, you're going to get a return. Understand what you're saying about your finance. When you spend it, it's gone. That is it. Become intentional with your words. Do not say you are broke. Do not say you don't have. Speak from where you're going, not from where you are. Act as if you already are that which you seek. It works. It works. Trust me, it works. It really, really does work. So choose your words wisely because they definitely do have power. Know your values and build a growth mindset. Having a growth mindset goes hand in hand with abundance, and especially financial abundance. Because the more you grow, is the more room you make for the growth of your finances and your abundance. Yeah. There's never ever a void in all of creation. Inside of us, there's never a void. If you're full of shit, you're going to get shit. If you're full of love, you're going to get love. If you're full of abundance, you're going to get abundance. You ever see people who society deem as wicked, usually successful? And you ever wondering, like, you hear people say, how come God blessing that person and them so wicked and bad? That is because while you caught up judging them, they are not lying to themselves. They're not pretending to be good. They are righteous in every action they undertake and undermining their business. So while you stand in front of your outside thinking that they're bad, in God's eyesight, they are righteous. They are authentically themselves. So they are blessed according to that. It's not about good or bad. It's about being in your truth. Because God made good, bad, and indifferent. All things under the sun. And they all work together because we live in a duality. Where there's good and bad. So once we live in a system like that, there will always be good or bad. So you just need to be you. We have good or bad traits. Everything about me is not perfect. I don't rub everybody the right way. But I do rub some people the right way and they get the benefits of that. Everybody is not my clients. Everybody don't always agree with my methods. So it's all about finding your tribe, your clan, your environment, the people who resonate with you instead of judging somebody else. Because the same yardstick you judge them on is the same yardstick that is being judged by you. The universe is not your favorite school teacher. And you don't pass the class simply because you buy an apple and bring it. You get the same lesson over and over and over and over and over and over until you learn it. So learn your lessons and learn them well. Build that growth mindset. Number 8. Think like a beginner. I don't know, but you see Trinidadians always know something. I don't know. I've interacted with people from many cultures from all over the world, and I've never come across people who like to say, I know, like a Trinidadian. They always know something. My father used to tell me, shut up a little bit now, you might learn something. Even if it sounds familiar, listen again. You might learn something on top of what you know. It might be sounding similar, but it might have one word that is added there that will give you an advantage on what you knew before. Because as a child, I was really inquisitive and I used to ask a million questions. So they used to get a little fed up of me. No lie. They used to get a little fed up of the questions and so. And I used to want to tell people I know plenty. But what I realize is, when I know, I don't leave room for myself to be taught. So I learned to be humbled. I don't really like the word humble, but I learned to be calm and listen twice and speak once. So I will listen to understand and not listen to reply, and not come from ego and pride and what I know before I even hear. So practicing thinking like a beginner gives us room to learn. And when we could learn and we become teachable, we will give ourselves opportunity to get gems and keys that will propel us more into abundance, and then we get more things to be grateful for. So number 9, notice the good all around you. Even if you're homeless, you could find something good to be grateful for, because it could be sunny, so you're not wet. Or if it rains, you could get water, so you'll have something to drink, even if you have nothing else to eat. No matter what the circumstance, you could always find something that is good around you. So notice all the good around you at all times. Yes, it is not going to be sunny all the time. Yes, it is going to rain sometimes. Yes, the seasons will change. Yes, the life could get cold and warm and all sorts of manner of things. But if you could just see the good in everything, because you know what? Everything is rigged in your favor, you know. Everything is supporting you when you come from abundance and mindset. You never lose. You either win or you learn. When you get the experience, you're learning something. So notice all that is good around you. And number 10, speak it into existence daily. No matter what your circumstances are, or no matter what you're experiencing, no matter what your reality is, see yourself being, doing, and having all the good that you desire right here and right now. I am the world's greatest self-love tour guide. And I speak that over myself daily, multiple times a day. I am a holistic wellness mind science coach, because I teach you how to be transformed by the renewal of your mind. Speak it over yourself whole day, every day if you can. Speak it till you and all believe it. Because sometimes your dream's so big that you don't even believe you have what it takes to do it. But speak it in the mirror, out the mirror, in the shower, in the drive, on the taxi, wherever you're doing, on your walk, on your exercise, on the treadmill. Record yourself. But speak it. Program yourself with what it is you seek. And before you know it, you will see it become manifest. So I trust that these 10 tips help you to see how you have not been in position to be abundant and you are actually coming from lack. And now that you have these tips, that you could apply them and connect to abundance mindset, so that you could get that reflected in your finance. And when you get that freedom, remember to seek, when you're praying for financial freedom, pray for financial wisdom, so you may steward the finances when they do come, because they will come and they are coming. They're already here. So I just encourage each of you to become the right you, so that you may be able to carry the mantle of that which you seek. And I love you guys to life. Thank you for joining me. I will now take any questions that you may have. I'll take about a few questions before I close off. Anybody have any questions? Now is your moment. Any comments or questions, you can ask me now before we close this live. Alright, I'll just give her 10 more seconds to see if any more questions come in. And if no questions come in, I will be closing off for this afternoon. So I trust that each and every one of you was blessed. I thank you guys. Sure, I can repeat the points for you. So the 10 tips for shifting your mindset from lack to abundance. Number 1, Recognize the power of your thoughts. Number 2, practice gratitude. Number 3, know that there are no limitations. There are no limits. Number 4, share your passion and your purpose. Number 5, self-efficacy. Mastering your experiences. Number 6, choose your words wisely because they have power. Number 7, know your values and build your growth mindset. Become comfortable with growing. Step outside of your comfort zone. Number 7, that was number 7. Number 8, think like a beginner. Number 9, notice the good all around you. And number 10, speak it into existence daily. Daily. Remember, my guys, if nobody has told you that they love you today, please permit me to be the first to do so. I love you to life. 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 You are needed. The world will not be what it is today without you being present. And if you were to leave this planet right now, I trust that you would have impacted at least one soul positively, and you would have utilized all the talents and gifts and purposes that you've been sent to bring to this earth, even just by being. Just your vibration here alone allows us to experience this moment in time. And I thank you that you chose to share space with me. I really enjoyed sharing with you. I will save this live. And I love you guys, and go be abundant. I wish for you that you are very rich this year. Rich in love, rich in finance, rich in great healthy relationships, rich in physical good health, rich in emotional well-being, rich in spiritual groundedness. I wish you be rich in your social interactions, rich in your career, rich in your finance, not only so that you could support your family, but you may be able to support others, that you may be able to give from the overflow. Rich in your spirituality, that you may be grounded and be able to stand in the gap for others and not just yourself. I ask that you are rich in love for yourself and love for others. Rich in wholeness, rich in balanced vibrations, rich in soundness of mind. Rich in soundness of mind. And guys, I wish that you are rich in investing in yourself, because there's nobody coming to save you but you. So show up for yourself today and every day, and as we unite in love, I bless you, because you are worthy of your time and your effort. So thank you very much, and I will see you again soon.